Hello everyone, welcome to a strategy discussion on Forest Shuffle. This will be a general discussion video. I'll have other chats where we go much more in depth on some of these topics. As always, we are currently playing with both the base game and the Alpine expansion. If you don't have it, I highly recommend playing with both. The game is a lot more balanced, you get a lot more creatures, more trees, and it just makes the game, I think, a lot better. So, to start out, I have a few trees, just as demonstration pieces. So first off, one thing to think about with Forest Shuffle is when you're playing, every game is going to be a little different. Because in a two-player game, a whole bunch of cards are randomly out. And you never know which cards are out. Which ones you want, which ones you don't want. In a 4 or 5-player game, almost every card is in the deck. But there's so many cards that are just going to fall that the people on the other side of the room are going to get them. They're going to draw them. They're going to have a chance to get them off the forest clearing. So that being said, you really have to play your hand and play the board every game. Really, most importantly, is really the first several moves. So you get your first 6 cards, and then your first few draws, your first few picks off the forest clearing. You got to look, what can you get a lot of early? Can you get a lot of bunnies real quick? Can you get a lot of deer? Can you get lots of butterflies? Or maybe just lots of trees? The question you need to look at is, what can I get a lot of quickly? Because what I found is, in most games, the winner has usually 2 or maybe 3 things that get them a ton of points, and then maybe a few other things. A lot of things help. But you're going to go big on a few things. Having a little bit of everything does not help you win the game in the end. Having a lot of a few things really does. For example, our European hares. You get 1 point per hare, so your first play, it's only a point. If you get, say, 4, that's 16 points. That's not bad. It's not great. But if you get 10 hares, you now have 100 points. Way more if you have foxes. Keep adding on if you put them on a silver fir. And so really, you never want to play just, say, a couple bunnies. That's 4 points. That's a waste of a play, really. What you want is hopefully to get a whole bunch of bunnies by the end of the game. That's where you look. But if you can get a few up front, you don't know what's going to come down the pike. But if you can get 3 or 4 very early, it's easy to get a few more and really get those points up for your hares. Notice it's a point per hare, so in the scoring, you're basically squaring the number you have. So 4 squared, 16. Another good stacks to look at is if you start getting stone pines. 1, 2, 3. Now, these give you 1 point per mountain card. That means, all of a sudden, there's a big benefit to playing mountain cards. Because not only are you getting the points for that card, you're getting an extra 3. So, for example here, this guy gets you 10 points. Go again. But he actually gets you 10, 11, 12, 13. So you want more. Get those little European larches going. Get some of these guys, because every mountain card you play now has a big benefit beyond just the card. So that's another good thing to think about there. Once you start getting the stone pines, just play mountain cards. Next, let's look at sycamores. Sycamores give you 1 point per tree. Once you get 2 or 3, notice every tree you play now is basically an extra 3. And a little luck, maybe you get one of these bees to go with it. Maybe you get a red deer. If this is my forest, I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for every tree I play. All of a sudden, yeah, okay, 3-point tree, let's play it. Let's start playing all these little trees. Play them all. Because you're getting tons of points for playing trees now. One of the strongest stacks, though, is definitely going to be wolves and deer. So the wolf, by itself, is a strong card. The wolf gives you 5 points per deer. You get to draw a card per deer, and if you're a little luck, you get to go again by playing the right colors. I've seen a lot of games where the wolves are 20 or 30 points. There's not a lot of cards in the game that get you 20 or 30 points. And so, you need to know the wolf is one of these stronger cards with a catch. You got to get the deer. And the wolves, looking here, how many are there in the game? There's only 4. There's very few wolves in the game. In a bigger game, that means they're really a premium. There's a lot more deer. and they'll do different things. So as we looked at the red deer, they give you points per tree and moss. So those are pretty strong, probably one of my favorites. Your fallow deers will give you points per hoofed animal. All deer are hoofed animals. You have other hoofed animals here. Like the steinback, you have the boars, some other little guys. And so once you get these guys, think, okay, hey, you really want more deer, but other hoofed animals as well are going to be a benefit. Lastly, the roe deer. So the roe deer, potentially the weakest, but it really depends on what you have to play. 3 points, in this case, per color. This is the dark green. This guy will give you 3 points per orange. So this is where this can make some of these smaller trees a lot more powerful, and just random cards. Every card has a color. You never know what's going to be. So in this case, that stacks with your horse chestnuts. So all of a sudden, you know what? Play a horse chestnut. You're leveling up, but you're also getting 3 more points for every one that you play. Take a risk. Get a couple more beaches. Got to get all 5. Get 4 beaches, but if you get 4, you get 20 points. He gives you an extra 3 now per beach. So, but notice here, if we're just counting the wolves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deer, that's a 25-point card. Very few cards will be better. And if I get a second wolf and I play him late, there's another 25, but I also get to draw 5 cards. That's a big card advantage as well down the stretch, and a little luck, I even get to go again. Deer and the wolves are some of your strongest cards. General rule, when you're playing, you really don't want to give other people deer, and you never want to give them wolves. Yeah, I would never pay with a wolf to give it to a neighbor. So you ask, how do I get rid of a card? First off, you can play it. These are good cards. But if you got no deer, you don't want to play it. So what you want to do then is wait till the forest clearing has enough cards that when you pay, it's up to 10. Once the forest clearing has 10 cards, that wipes the board. Other option, this is worst case scenario. I've only done this a couple times, but you take them, you play it as a sapling, you move on with the next turn. Hopefully in that case you have some sycamores. Makes it a little better for you. All right, next we're going to look at birds. So if you want to play birds and get a bird stack, you really got to get a couple of these guys right here. These guys are going to give you, notice here, 3 points per bird. And so, once you get them, if you have 2, every other bird is now giving you basically 6 points plus the bird itself. Your tawny owl, it's only 5 points, but now it's 11. Hopefully you're drawing 3 cards, not just 1. Your Asian jay is now giving you 9 points, and you get to go again. If you got lots of trees, your woodpecker now gives you 16 points and a free card. So getting a bunch of birds, once you have at least 1 or hopefully 2 or 3 of those, is a great strategy. There's the Goshawks. There are 4 total in the game. It's rare to get all 4, but if you can, then just get the birds. Get them going. Have them flying everywhere. All right, next I'm going to talk about, sometimes you get cards that are just randomly good, and so they don't go that much with anything else. But like this guy here gives you 10 points. 10-point card, that's a win. Sometimes they go with things, but they don't really, it's not like getting the deer or the bunnies. They just randomly go. For example, there's a lot of cards outside of the roe deer that give you point per color. Once you get those are going to get you several points. Be thinking of those, hey, what else can I play? Play them down the stretch. In that case, you know what? Play some more purple cards. There's some light blue ones. Play those. There's some pink ones. Play those then. In general, the cave's not a great strategy. Going with the bears and raccoons, rarely are you going to win a game. But the vulture helps a lot. Mr. Vulture here, nice thing is, you're only grabbing 2 cards off the clearing. But now you get a point per card in the cave, and you already get a point per card in your cave from the cave. So basically now you get 2 points for every card in your cave, 1 original, and then 1 for the vulture. That makes playing bears and raccoons a lot stronger as a result. Butterflies. Now notice here, playing a couple butterflies gives me 3 points. Got to be different ones. This here gives me 3 points. I've played 2 cards. Yes, they're free, but I've taken 2 turns to get 3 points. That was a waste of my time. This is why I say you really got to go heavy on certain things, and some things not at all. So if you're going to go butterflies, really you hopefully want to get all 5, or all 6, or at least get 5. The last thing you want to do is not have a lot of butterflies. Notice here, the Forest expansion gives us the option to get butterfly number 6. That's 35 points. That's great. But one great thing, too, to think of in this game is stacking. So not just the base animal, but what else can I get to give me points? Kind of like the points per color. In this case, there are cards that give you specifically points per butterfly. So when you're getting your points per butterfly, this here, 2 per butterfly, 3 per butterfly is better. This guy gives me now 18 points. This guy is 12 points. So I'm getting the 35 plus the 12 plus the 18. Notice too, butterflies also count as bugs. Butterfly into bugs. This guy, 2 points per bug. So I'm getting 12 points for him. Lastly, if I play this card the other way, there's a bird that gives me 2 points per bug. So he would give me then 12 points as well. Understanding there are other bugs that will stack with him as well. So stacking is a great thing in the game. One to think about as you're playing as you go. On that note, the last type of creature I want to talk about is the crawly guys that go underneath your trees. So in general, they're probably not always the strongest, but the exception is if you get the tree fern. So your salamanders without the tree fern, I probably wouldn't buy a whole lot, but the tree fern, you get 6 per salamander. Little luck, you get 2 tree ferns, then you're getting 12 a salamander. If you get 2 tree ferns, a bunch of salamanders, you're probably going to win. So here's your fire salamander. Playing 1 gets you 5, 2 gets you 15. That's okay, but you're getting an extra 6 for every one. So you're getting 15 and 12. Here's 27 points for 3 cards, and they're cheap. Your common toad's free. Got to get 2 of them to make it count. Now together, that's only 10 points. That's 2 different plays. It's okay. But now, you're getting 22 points, because each one is an extra 6, 11 and 11. That makes them worthwhile. This is why I say that when you're looking at your board, you need to see what can I do, get a lot of, and go heavy on that. 1 salamander, 5's okay. 15, 25 is better. 1 of these, 2 of these are really not that good unless you have the ferns. This is why you want to look at your hand early. Look at the board early. Get your ferns early. Get one of these cards early, then play butterflies throughout the game. Notice this also lets you play them for free, so I'd hold them for that. All right, guys, I have a few last general reminders here to close this out. Things to think of. So first off, always be looking for ways to get bonuses. Take, for example, Mr. Roe Deer. If you pay with yellow cards, 2 of them, you then get to draw a card for free. That's a great action that you lose if you don't pay with the right colors. And so often you need to look at the forest clearing, start saving up the right colors, get a little lucky, because there's a ton of cards that have the bonus actions. Some cards have regular actions, like the Standback. Notice him. You go again no matter what. But Mr. Roe Deer, if you want to get that extra card, you have to pay with 2 yellow cards. So be thinking of those. Those are big. Thinking ahead, play ahead, and sometimes it means you hold a card. If you can't get the bonus action, it's often worth holding the card rather than playing it early. Next, late in the game, you really got to pay attention to what did you play earlier and think about that, because, like here, this Roe Deer, if you have him, playing that Linden, that makes a whole lot of sense now, because I'm getting 3, hopefully 3, now 6 points. There's other cards, random cards that have yellow points. All right, here's a fallow deer. He's yellow. He's probably good anyway. And now I'm getting points off of this deer because it's a yellow card. So think of those down the game. Also note, a 2-player game goes much slower than a 4 or 5-player game, and that you get to play a lot more cards. So it doesn't really work out. A lot of you take a lot more cards out of the deck in a 2-player game, but there's only 2 of you, so you get to play each a lot more cards And so you have time to save up. You have time to be patient, time to wait for the right cards. In a 4 or 5 player game, it is so quick, especially if people start playing the Bears and the Raccoons, that you almost can't be too patient. You almost sometimes have to really play the board as it comes, and note that it's going to probably be a lower scoring game, and at some point in the middle, you got to just start getting points out, because you can't wait to the end, because the end, winter, will be coming much quicker than you want. Then lastly, got to play your mushrooms early. If you got mushrooms, get it out first hand, second hand, third hand. Those are great. By mid-game, I really wouldn't play them. There are specific instances where maybe you think about it, but the mushrooms, if you don't play them early, probably don't want to play them. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed some strategy talk here. And as always, have fun playing Forest Shuffle. We'll see you guys next time.